How do you establish trust when building relationships?
This is a pretty simple answer. The way I establish trust when building relationships is to never lie. I think that, of course, we're all told it's bad to lie when we're little, and that's kind of where you first hear it, I guess. Hopefully, that's when you first hear it when you're little. But I think that lying, that's the death of trust, right? That's the antithesis of trust, is lie, is not being truthful. And I never saw the benefits to the lie. I'll try and think of like a ridiculous lie, like, have you ever seen that movie? And it's a popular movie and you want to, like, we're in 7th grade. Have you ever seen that movie? Yeah, of course I've seen that movie. That only goes in a bad place. You said that because you wanted to feel connected and part of whatever that conversation was. And you didn't want to feel left out, and you didn't want to feel like, oh, you're not in the group. So that's an insecurity. That's not about anything about really what seeing the movie or not seeing the movie can kind of do for you, or is that's not the right way to say that. But you say that because you wanted to be part of that conversation in this context. It only can hurt you, though, because if somebody starts, oh, what happened? You remember this part? Do you remember that part? Then your lie gets bigger because you have to say, of course, that was an awesome part. And at some point, you're going to get caught in this lie. Now, this is a very simple and clean lie because it's either you're going to know or you're not going to know about particular parts, and that you might get through it and nobody calls you out with a specific thing, or you might not get through it and you might get called out on your lie. But lies, as we know, are super elaborate, right? So in establishing trust, if you never lie, then you never have that problem. And the person if the person does not trust you, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them and whatever is going on with them. Like, they can't not trust you if you've never been untruthful to them. That's the defense. The offense, though, when you want to establish, when you want someone to trust you more. So let's use a client example, right? I want my client to trust me so that they hire me. That becomes a much, I think, more complicated way to establish trust than the defensive way of what I was just speaking about, which means that to establish trust with a client or anybody that you want to know that they trust you, I think you need to pay a lot of attention to the things that person becomes comfortable with, is looking for. And I'll keep using the example of the client. If a client wants a particular type of campaign or is looking for a particular type of agency, establishing trust is critical for them to want to work with us. And this offensive trust building that I'm speaking of is more about being very much in tune to what those things are that make that individual and particular person comfortable. And if you can make them comfortable, they will begin to trust you. And that takes time. This all, of course, takes time. But it could be very small pieces that aren't even necessarily contextually relevant to what the project is. But being able to pick up on those and pay attention to those, and not in a manipulative way. It's really just about reading people's sort of behavioral cues and making them feel comfortable to a point in which they can relax, and then they will begin to trust you.